Hey, what's up, everybody? Revolve Recap. We got a special episode this week, but real quick, we want to let you guys know on some announcements. Billy, what's the first announcement for this week?
On January. On August 9th, we are doing baptisms at the Tide or Die event. So we're going to have baptisms, and then the Tide or Die event is going to happen after that. It's not too late to sign up for baptisms. I think there's like 10 people being baptized at it. I promise you, I'm not going to put on my costume until after baptisms. That was something I learned last year when I baptized people in my priest outfit.
Oh, my word.
Okay. And so this year, I'm going to put on my costume after
That's
baptisms.
confusing.
Yes, it was confusing. People were, and then like the cops got called because Scotty was dressed like a scuba diver.
Yeah.
And so anyway, we're going to do baptisms, get dressed, and then we're going to do Tide or Die event. Tide or Die event's going to be a blast, guys. Just come down and watch with your family, even if you're not going to participate.
Yeah.
Also, there's people who can't be baptized on August 9th. And so August 17th, which is a Monday night, it looks like we're having another baptism at the Cove.
Yeah.
And I think there's at least 2 people being baptized then.
Wow.
So if August 9th doesn't work for you, maybe August 17th does.
All right.
And so let us know. You can make a comment, text us, tackle us on Sunday, whatever. Let us know.
Yep. And then on August 8th, the day before, here at the office on Saturday, August 8th, 9 a.m. will be the last class of the summer discipleship series, where we're going to talk about how to do a discovery Bible study. So if you haven't come to any of the classes, that's okay. If you just want to come to this, that's awesome. We are just going to really do a deep dive on what it looks like to do a discovery Bible study with a non-believer.
Okay.
And that's what
That's
we're going
August 8th at
9 o'clock here at the office. It'll be like 9 to 10:30.
Okay.
And but if you haven't come to any of the classes, that's okay. Still come, because this is a really good tool for your disciple making
You're not going to
toolbox.
regret it. You're not going to regret it.
No.
And
Nope.
final announcement, this Sunday at 8:30 in one of the classrooms for the kids, Dave Walker is going to be talking about how to read the book of Revelation, because we're winding down our reading plan in August, and Dave's going to crack the code for you. And September 1st, we're going to give you a new reading plan.
So, it was one whole year. I just looked at my paper.
Testament.
That was really flew by.
And so what we're doing in this coming school year is I'm going to do a reading plan per like a trimester. So it's going to be like, from September to December, this is the reading plan.
That's like a baby.
Yeah.
They do things in
basically by the
trimesters.
time you're done, you'll have given birth to discipleship.
Wow. All right. So we're going to take a quick break, and we got a special episode. So come back in like 10 seconds and you're going to see some cool stuff happen.
But I'm out here. I'm
Because we have 2 guests. Who are you guys?
I'm Hannah Faulkner.
I'm Dina Windle. Hello.
There we go. So Hannah and Dina are here, and they're going to share some an interesting, very unique, but very like Revolve ministry opportunity thing that's happening. They're going to share that in a few minutes. But first, we have to get to everybody's favorite question of the day. Okay. Are you guys familiar with question of the day?
Yes.
The question of the day.
Really nervous.
You should be nervous.
Me too.
So the question of the day is, and you really got to, like, this is straight talk. Like, don't try to, like,
Oh my gosh.
I'm going to make some, first thing that comes to mind. If you could be famous for one thing, what would it be for?
Famous for
Hannah didn't even have to, like,
Yeah.
one thing.
I wish this was like, because I've known Hannah for a long time. I kind of wish this was almost like the Honeymooners, where I could like write your answer, because I think I know what it is. But let's see what it is.
A YouTube channel for eating at a bunch of different places.
Okay, because I was gonna say like competitive food eater,
Or that, yeah.
like
Just anything involving food, yeah.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, Hannah and Ryan Pittman are probably like our resident like foodies here at Revolve. And Hannah has a dream to start a YouTube channel where she, what is it called again?
Hungry Hannah.
Hungry Hannah.
Please don't steal the name.
No, oh yeah, that's been copyrighted. We copyrighted that. Don't steal that name. But that's a great concept, and I want to see it happen. Dina,
Oh
what are
my
you going to be
gosh.
famous for?
Do I actually have to have talent in this thing?
No, it's whatever.
okay.
Like you could just be like, I want to juggle chainsaws.
Well, no, maybe that comes in a close second.
Okay.
But I think for me, it's maybe like just running, like marathon running, like maybe up until I'm up in my 90s, just
Okay.
running.
You want to be like the oldest lady to ever run a marathon.
That's it.
There it is.
That's it.
Okay, because you kind of already do run.
40
you're
hours
already a runner.
later.
You just want to like be able to keep running.
Right.
Okay. Man. Okay, so we got Hungry Hannah. We got Dina running until she's 90. For me, it was juggling chainsaws. That was the first thing that came to mind. I just wanted it to be like I'm hanging out at Bill's house. There's a couple dudes. We're having a bonfire. And I'm like, Bill, do you have 3 chainsaws that I could just fire up and just start juggling?
Yeah, conveniently.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's like, now it's like, oh, play a guitar song around the campfire. But if you could juggle a chainsaw, I guess one chainsaw would be enough. And I keep wanting to like refer to Bill like he's on the show, but he's not. You're not.
But I
Feel
think
bad.
you need a balance, though, and one it seems to be like a little off. So I feel like maybe if you have 2 or 3, that gives you a better balance and fluidity.
I feel like if you juggled chainsaws, you would carry 3 chainsaws with you. You know, because you just don't know when it would need to come up, right? So how do we make this happen? How do we make the YouTube channel? How do you run until you're 90? Is this possible? Do people do it?
I think so.
I stopped running when I was like
person.
14. I haven't ran since I was 14. I've just given up, you know, but you think you could do it?
I think I can.
All right.
I think I can. I just have to get like a catchy phrase like Hungry Hannah.
Oh.
So I think that's what I'm missing really in this.
Dina, running, Dina.
Like
don't
run
Dina.
DMC, maybe run DMW or DLW
Yes.
because
Dashin' Dina.
Actually,
Dashing
Dina,
Dina.
don't stop. Dina, don't stop running. So that is our question of the day. If you could be famous for one thing, and it doesn't have to be an existing talent, like you guys are utilizing your talents, but you know, could be like you held your breath for 4 hours, whatever. Put it in the comments below. We're gonna take a quick break. And then we're gonna find out why are Dina and Hannah even here? What are you doing? Sitting
what
in
I wanna
Billy's
know.
seat. Yeah, we all want to know. Well, welcome back. And in the break, we found out that the oldest lady to ever run a marathon is 92, and she did it in like 12 hours, something late.
Yeah.
So, you know, unlike me, who could do it in, you know, what does one run a marathon in? Like, what's... Have you run a marathon?
I've done several, yes. Are we talking about full or half?
I don't know. It's,
Well,
it's what you're famous for.
I think a marathon would be a full. That's
Yeah.
got to be the full
Okay.
24 plus because it's kilometers and we don't know
Okay.
anything about kilometers. So I would
have no
say like
idea.
a little over 24, but
Okay.
I'm not exact kilometer-ish.
Okay. Wasn't
So-
it? It was how far? It was like you had to run to the castle. I think marathon is from England, and that was how it was. Whatever where it started, they were running to
Distance.
the castle, and then they were like, "That's it."
That's it.
I don't know. I'm making that up.
Okay.
All right. So Dina and Hannah are here today, and there is okay. So let's see how. So right now there is a ministry happening at the TRACEN, and if you're not familiar with the TRACEN is, it is Training Center Cape May. We in Cape May are home to the one and only training center for the Coast Guard in all of the United States, which is going to change. They're adding a new one, and we're saying boo to that one. I think it's going to be down south somewhere, but number one, Cape May Training Center. Right now we're the only, but we're still number one. But we have been invited by the chaplain, correct? The chaplain has invited Revolve in to start what did we start?
It's a DBS, essentially, is what it is.
Okay.
It's 45 minutes because, as we know, everything's very timely there and they have to be out by a certain amount of time. So it's a very abbreviated
Okay.
DBS.
So we have been invited, Revolve has been invited to come on the base, onto the military base, to lead a discovery Bible study with the recruits.
Correct.
This is the recruits. They are in 6 weeks of training, right? 8 weeks?
8 weeks.
8 weeks of training. And they on Sunday have a option to go to chapel, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So that's what we're doing right now. I'm going to hit rewind though. Before that, you ladies have both been through the ABCs of the hub, right? Training that we have at Revolve. What would you say? So we want to talk to those who are listening to the podcast who've never been through any sort of disciple training. What would you say is the benefit? Well, Dina, you go first, and then we'll go with Hannah, of joining the ABCs or the hub or some sort of discipleship training class that we have at Revolve. What would you say is the benefit to that?
Well, the benefit to that is that, well, you feed yourself, first of all, so that you get into a routine of knowing how to teach someone else about reading the Bible, about reading God's word, and utilizing whatever command God's given you through what your learning is. And therefore, you can teach someone else, basically. Yeah. So it gives you that foundation that you can teach anyone, anywhere, anytime.
Yeah.
How to read the Bible and what to get out of the Bible for you, for yourself.
So you would say it's a foundation, but it's also a confidence to be like, I can do this.
Most definitely.
Right?
Most
so
definitely.
We're called to go. The Great Commission, Matthew 28, is to go and make disciples. And it's like, well, how do I do that? So taking a class like the ABCs or the Hub has given you that like foundation and confidence to do that. Mm-hmm. What about you, Hannah? What would you say is your recommendation if someone's like, what is the ABCs class? Should I even come?
I agree with Dina. It definitely gives a confidence because you feel equipped to go equip others. So you learn tools not only for yourself in your own quiet time, and I think abiding part of the ABCs, that's the most important thing that you learn. And then after that, all of the other tools that you learn to help share with others, they're just easy to remember and easy to replicate. And we've already seen that happen in this Bible study. People learn really quickly.
So gaining the tools. So when we say tools, they're like, we call them simple, biblical, reproducible tools, which is like just like a tool of how to read the Bible or a tool of how to share your testimony. And they're just like little simple things that you can learn to how to share your testimony or how to share the gospel, things like that. So gaining those tools as a way to kind of like easily share.
Yeah.
So now after you attend the ABCs or the Hub training, we started something new this year called the Pipeline. And you guys were kind of like the guinea pigs of this Pipeline class, right? So what's the difference between like what was the Pipeline class as opposed to like the ABCs?
I think it was similar to the Hub and ABCs in the equipping part, but we were definitely way more strategic.
Yeah,
I think. So when we were learning something or having a refresher on something from the Hub, we were immediately trying to figure out how we could put it into practice or people we could reach, and we were strategizing together.
I called it the think tank.
Yeah.
Oh, the think tank.
Because it was all of us who had gone through these foundational classes. And then, so we knew the tools. So then as we were there, the strategy was, well, is this going to work in the minimum period of time that we have? How's it going to work? And where all of us would input from experience or maybe just thinking it out, just ideas.
Yeah.
And as a group, as this think tank, we sat there and looked at it and said, that's not feasible, but that's feasible. And just constructed the Bible study in particular for TRACEN, and started with that and just said, okay, this is what we're going to work with in this four corners of this page. Uh-huh. And we're going with that and see where the Holy Spirit leads us.
So there was, Bill would call it like a missional community. So you guys were not just taking a class. It was more of like, hey, we're taking this class, we're implementing it into our life. The next week we're coming back, we're reviewing it, we're implementing it. Whereas like the Hub trainings and the ABCs trainings, it's more of like, we give you these tools and then we say, okay, go and do it. We're here for you if you need us, call us. But with the pipeline, it was much longer. Because it was 6 or 8 or 9 months, right? It was a couple.
Yeah.
So it was much more like, I would say, like intense. Of like,
most definitely.
we're going to learn how to share our testimony. So now we're going to go out and we're going to go out and share it. And then the next week we're going to come back and kind of debrief.
Right.
Even more accountability.
Yeah.
Most definitely. And it was fellowship time for sure amongst the whole entire group, where not only are we doing that, but we were also reading throughout the entire Bible.
Yeah.
So we read through the Bible with each other. And I also felt, unlike any other group, that we all had each other's backs. Everyone in the group became super close to each other. There was such a special bonding with each other. And I think to this day, we could probably text one of the people in the group and just give them a hard time and it'd be okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it was the most active I've seen people in a group chat ever.
Yes.
In any group I've been in, everybody was definitely very involved and took it very seriously.
So there is this expectation if you are, a part of the pipeline, it's expected to be active.
Oh, yeah.
You can't be passive.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So you guys went through the pipeline. I keep saying guys, you guys are girls. This is like 2026. I don't know if I'm doing this right. You gals, you ladies, you women so you went through the pipeline, and now this opportunity for the TRACEN to go and on to TRACEN to start the Discovery Bible Study was presented. So everyone in the pipeline was like, hey, this is our idea. We're going to go implement it. So can you walk me through, what does it look like? So once you get on base, you get into the chapel, what does a Sunday look like? You said it's 45 minutes. You got to be pretty strict with your time. So what is this? What does it look like? Like, what does a session look like on the base? Well, first off, who's there? Like, how many people are there?
It can
I've
vary.
been there with one person and another time with 15 people.
Okay.
So,
And this is an option that they can choose to come.
Right.
Is it instead of chapel, or is this basically chapel now?
No, it is. Chapel goes after it, but that period of time that you're carving into is a period of time where is a free time for the cadets, where they can choose to catch up on whatever homework that they did or laundry. So, and they don't have, their time is not their own. Yeah. So this one day of 45-minute period of time is where they can choose to do that or come to the special DBS.
Okay.
So they're giving up what they could be doing or should be doing to come to this Bible study.
And is that what it's advertised as, a Bible study? Like, what is, how do they know about it? How do they get there?
With the chaplain.
Okay.
Who Matt met or is introduced to. He's the one he's stationed there.
Okay.
So in his sermons on Sundays, he'll give a plug for that for us every once in a while. So it's not like every week he's given a plug, but every maybe 3 weeks or whatever, because he's not there all the time. He's got to go to other places as well.
Okay.
So he does the plugs.
Okay. So you show up on Sunday. There's a handful of recruits that are there.
Mm-hmm.
And now what does that 45 minutes look like?
A DBS. We start with, well, I've only been there 4 times, but we start with a DBS and decide who's leading it first. This past weekend, we had one of the recruits lead.
That's awesome.
And there's sheets printed out with the passage on it and the DBS questions, so everybody can read what the questions are. So we're all on the same page, literally. And then somebody opens up in prayer. We go into the DBS questions. They have the opportunity to write the answers to the questions on the sheet. And then there's a gospel sharing tool at the end.
Sometimes 2. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And then a closing in prayer, of course. Yeah.
So now, how did this is really fascinating, because when we teach people discipleship principles and doing the Discovery Bible Study, the big thing that we drive home is that, like, the kind of rotation of leadership. So it's not like Dina's the expert of the Bible, so whenever I have a problem, I go to Dina. No, I'm learning that there's no real like one expert. We just go to the Bible for the source of our wisdom. How did that work out that you got a recruit now to lead? How did that happen?
Well, I think originally is when we went in, we didn't know whether there were any believers or not.
Okay.
First of all, because you could get the same person in for 5 weeks, or you could get him 1 week. And so each time you don't know, potluck, you don't know who you're going to get. So in the beginning, what we started to do is first off, ask, who are the believers in this class? And then you'd have the hand raisers. And then you'd find out, oh, this guy is not a believer at all. He's an atheist, actually. We've had an atheist there before, or these are Catholic followers, or these people have been undecided. So what we did as a consistency, we would come and say, oh, I remember that guy from 2 weeks ago. Oh, I remember him from a week ago. And the ones who are really filled with Jesus, they are strong, and they come out with it. So then you see that, you teach them the DBS, and then next week you go, hey, John, you were here last week. Go ahead and run this.
Yeah.
And that's what's so great about TRACEN isn't that what they're doing there?
Yeah.
Is that they're learning from other people and following orders. So what the great thing is, they're not going to say no to you. So you got a captive audience. They're like, and you will do this week. And they're like, they look at you like, oh boy. And they're like, all right. And then they do it.
Yeah. Wow.
So, yeah.
That's what we should start implementing now. When I teach the ABCs, I'm just like, John, you're leading. Go for it. Nope. Give me 20 push-ups. Well, I think, and talking with Bill about this, I don't actually know very much about this, but as I'm learning, it really seems to be this is a really cool thing to see. Like, because there's this cycle every 8 weeks of new people coming through, that it becoming like this almost constantly recruit run ministry that, maybe people from Revolve could be there to oversee it and all that. But if it's kind of like, it's becoming like, okay, I'm going to teach for these next 6 weeks, and now I'm teaching the guy that's coming up behind me. So it really could become something that on Cape May is a cycle of leadership, but then we are now training them for when they go, if they're on a ship or if they're, in a small boat station, now they know how to lead a Discovery Bible study. It's really, when Bill was telling me about it, I was so excited because we've been praying about an opportunity. And it's so funny how ministry is and how God is. It's like, we've been praying and scheming for like how to get on base and how to do this. And then like one day it's like the door opens up and it's like, here it is,
Yeah, it's crazy.
So can you guys give me one, and either one of you could share what you said there was an atheist that came, but what would you say is like one really like exciting testimony of what you saw God doing in your time there?
Yeah.
You either both or one of you answer. What has just been like a neat thing where you're like, wow, God, that was really cool to be able to see that?
I think the coolest thing I've seen so far was the recruit leading this past weekend, and just taking charge in that.
Yeah.
And the person who led asked me to pray, so already like was delegating roles. So
and now he feels
equipped
now if he wants to lead a Discovery Bible study in the barracks, or if he moves on or whatever, he's now been equipped to do that. That's really cool. Dina, would you add anything to that?
Yeah, well, I think for me, it was seeing this young man who was brought to our studies by someone else who was very steeped in Jesus. And he kept on saying, you need to come with me. And he did. And so he would come consistently. And then I had him lead at the very end. He was in his blue uniform, so he was graduating and he was going to Key West, Florida. Okay. So this is exactly how God moves. So he went through this, and you could see every single time he came, he was just so energized and so enthusiastic about Jesus. And so he leaves us. And it was really sad when he left because, like, he's like, they're not like my kids. They're off they go. And then we get like a note, a letter. And prior to this going, Matt, who has been to Key West, he had stayed there for a bit. He had a name of a church.
Oh, cool.
So Matt hooked up this cadet with the church name, and we got notice from this cadet who made it to Key West and was going to that church.
Oh, that's cool.
And wrote this letter of like absolute like gratitude for sharing the word that, you know, he was lost when he got there, but he found himself loving Jesus more and more through his time at TRACEN, and how he so appreciated that Matt gave him this church that was just awesome. And he's like, and you could tell in his letter that he just so loved going to church, so loved sharing the word, and get a deeper involved in God's word. So that sometimes you don't get that, and you have to be satisfied with that. Yeah. And sometimes you get like God just opening his curtain just a little to see how this is working. Yeah. And that's one of the times that it was just like, oh, wow. And this just started from this guy thinking like, I guess I'll go with you to see what Jesus is about, to just jumping into a community of faith.
It is crazy how we never know what the Lord is doing. It's like, we're just kind of throwing the seed, and it's like, and now even with this, it's like you're pouring into these cadets for, 6 weeks or 8 weeks. And they're like, we may never see them ever again, never hear from them ever again, but who knows what the work is that God is doing. Right. So just to kind of wind this down. So now if someone wanted to get involved, we kind of talked about some details of like how to get on base and all that kind of stuff. But what would you say if someone wants to get involved? How would they do it? What's the commitment? Give us a little, an idea if someone's like, oh, that's kind of cool. I would like to do that. Mm-hmm. How could someone get involved?
I think they need to reach out to Bill.
Yeah.
Or Matt Pitt. He's our connection with the chaplain there. It really is. Yeah.
What's the commitment level?
The commitment level, I think it's 9 months. Of course, there are these technical things where you got to make sure your car the registration is good within 6 months. Your license, of course, has to be good because they have to be able to get you in and out of the place and stuff. Although when I say the commitment level is 9 months, we're not looking for you to come every single Sunday, and it's before church. So really, I think I've made it. I shouldn't say I think. I have made it for every service and serving in the kids unit at church, and still have been able to do TRACEN without.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's like maybe a 5-10 minute ride, if at all. And so you don't have to come every single Sunday.
Yeah.
And what's great is that there's a group text that you're all involved and say, hey, and usually there's a roll call that I send out like on a Thursday or Friday, say, who's coming? So that we don't have this heavy-ended 10 revolvers coming to cadets, because that's intimidating. So we'd like to keep it to like maybe a group of 3 that go on a particular Sunday. So it's just a 9-month commitment, yes. But if you can't make it 2-3 Sundays, that's okay. Yeah. And just, getting on and...
Yeah, so as this develops more and we're like learning and growing, I think, definitely like the scheduling and all that is definitely something that we can work on and kind of streamline a little bit as well. But I think one of the things I would say is two things. One, we definitely want you to go on through the ABCs or the hub. That would be like a prerequisite. But then I'm like, I almost wonder if we could start like once a quarter or something that's almost like a TRACEN training. You know what I mean?
TRACEN
so like
pipeline training.
Yeah. So like before you go, it's like we're going to do a Saturday class for 2 hours just to kind of like prep you for what you do. And I think that would be a good thing to add.
And it's not even that you even have to determine what passages are done, because they're there already.
Yeah.
You don't have to print them out. It's there already. We used to just email each other and say, okay, this is what we're doing this weekend. And one of us would print it out backside and front side, so that we had it. Yeah. So it's not even thinking of, okay, it's your turn this week to figure out what we're going to do. It's just revolving, really the same stuff. And it's really just looking at your crowd. If you've seen John there 6 times already, then you don't want to repeat again one of them that John has seen already 5 times. So again, that's just an eyeball. That's not hard.
So I would say, thank you guys, gals, ladies, women, for coming on the podcast and talking about this. If you have been trained in disciple making, in DMM, Discovery Bible Study, and you're not leading a group, or you're like, I'm trained, but I've never really implemented this might be a good opportunity for you to come and get your feet wet with some seasoned pros to kind of help. We're not going to just show like go to the base by yourself. Good luck. But like join alongside with people like Dina and Hannah, who are been doing this for a long time in various different ways. So we definitely get you plugged in. Let myself or Bill, or if you see Hannah or Dina on Sunday, let them know. But so any last words for the revolvers?
Go ahead.
I was going to add that it's very encouraging too. It's been a blessing, I think, to all of us as well, because it's an amazing opportunity here in Cape May County with all of these young people who come here. And it's just a really unique opportunity. Like you said, if you have been looking to start doing a DBS with somebody, this is just a really great way to connect. And we don't know how long-term some of these relationships could be, or who could end up staying here. We already know of somebody who's going to probably come attend our church
this Sunday.
So,
because they get stationed here.
Yeah.
Right,
So
that's great.
It's just really encouraging. And
What a cool network that's building.
Yeah. I feel like many a times that I feel guilty because I almost receive like I'm getting more joy than they are, and it's just like, just to see this outpouring of love and from these cadets. And just many times we've prayed over them in their suffering. And so that has, we've gotten good results from that too, where we say, oh, how's so-and-so doing this week? So we have a little, and then we say, oh, it's a turnaround. They're like, oh, yes, praise God. So there's a lot of praising God throughout this thing, because I feel like we're greedy that we get all these cool things from God in just this 45-minute period.
Yeah.
And seriously, if a Bible study with 3 or 4 people, strangers, scare you, this is awesome, because these kids are hungry.
That's awesome.
And it is seriously so easy to do. It's easier than the bigger DBS that you're there for an hour or two.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and I'm going to bring Bill back, and we'll land this ship, and then we can find out what Bill's question of the day, what his famous thing he want to be famous for, which would probably be like hanging out with Hannah, eating all the food. So, hey, thanks so much for coming.
Thank you.
And if you see Hannah or Dina at church on Sunday, give them a high five. All right. Hey, welcome back. And I brought Billy because I knew if I didn't bring Billy back, people would be in the comments.
Their minds.
They'd be like, "Oh, Hannah and Dina were nice, but we missed that Billy."
Oh man,
missed that Billy.
It's the truth.
He's the best.
I mean, I had like probably
2,
easily
3,
like 2 or 50 people come up to me yesterday and they're like, "Love that podcast."
Yeah.
And so I just want to give a shout out to Eileen and Karis.
Yeah.
You made it out of the podcast, ladies.
And Dante.
Dante.
It
was like 2 or 3 people who were like, "Love that podcast."
Yeah. But there's the regulars. There's the regulars that always,
Chris Amaker.
Yeah.
It's like our Patreon list.
Yeah.
Just want to give it that.
I don't want to leave anyone
Chris
out.
Amaker,
I don't want to leave anybody out.
Karis McCart. You just keep going down the list.
Jay McCart told me that he told me to tell people to listen on Spotify, because that's how he listens. He listens on Spotify.
Did you tell him he's missing out on all the memes?
No, he says he listens to it at 1.5 too, so he gets it, knocks it out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so he gets it done in 30 minutes.
Well, here I am, guys. I'm back.
And then there was another Matt that I met. There's a new Matt.
Matt Black Kia.
Matt Black Kia. I got kicked out of a Matt Black Kia. Not kicked out. I got into an argument with a salesman. Yeah, this was like 25 years ago. He put his finger in my face to tell me about something, and I was like, "You don't put your finger in my face, first off."
Oh my gosh.
I wasn't as mature in the Lord back then. When you're like 25.
I've never been kicked out of anywhere.
Really?
Nope.
I've been kicked out of numerous
Established
churches. Just kidding. I've never been kicked out of a church.
Oh my
I got
goodness.
kicked out of a cult.
All
Because I was like,
that's realness.
what are we
then.
doing? What are we doing? I don't even know.
Listen, I just sat on that couch
Yeah,
and listened to the ladies.
Oh, that's what we're doing. I forgot.
Yeah,
I forgot
you
where
just
we were. I thought we were.
interviewed Dina.
I thought we were starting a whole new podcast.
You just interviewed. Here, let me. I'm
Okay,
your
so
host, Bill, and you just interviewed. David just interviewed Dina and Hannah about what's going on.
And they
at
did a great
TRACEN.
job. They did a
And
great
they did
job.
a great job.
So fill in maybe any gaps, maybe, or is there anything else that you would add? What straight talk with Billy?
Straight talk with Billy.
TRACEN.
Guys, I would say that this all comes back to the ABCs of healthy discipleship, which I have right here, a little flyer. It's like a little
That's a great
little
flyer.
reminder.
Who
It was
designed that flyer?
designed by our very own David McCumber, not AI.
No,
You can't AI this.
no, not that genius.
You know what I mean?
There's like red and there's blue.
And when we talk about the ABCs of discipleship, of healthy discipleship, it's basically, think of it as 5 intentional habits that need to exist in every believer, and they just keep go deeper and deeper and deeper like a spiral. And it's abiding in the word and prayer, building relationships, connecting your conversations to Jesus, to the word, discovering what God's word says in the Bible, and then equipping and empowering others. And so if you think about it this way, I'm listening to them talk about their time at TRACEN. And with Dina.
Can I hit pause real quick? I don't want to interrupt.
Like a real pause or
I'm
a
going to
fake
interrupt.
pause?
No, real pause. I think it's cool. This is what's cool. Is that Dina, you were sitting over there.
Yeah.
And Dina and Hannah were like talking about TRACEN. I just think that's cool. It's like you invested in them for the time in the pipeline.
Right.
And now you've essentially handed this.
I've never gone.
Yeah. I think
I've
that's
never
so
gone.
cool. That's
Yeah.
so cool. All right, keep going.
No, I've never gone. But you think about
That's E. That's equip.
exactly.
Equip and empower
That's where
others.
I'm going with this. It's like Dina and Hannah are abiding in the word and prayer. They're building a relationship with these cadets. If the conversation comes up, they're connecting it to the word of God. They're opening the word of God together. And now, like when this came up, let me just pause. Okay. The whole way this came up, this is how it came up. It came up because,
Man, people are getting their money's worth on this podcast.
yeah, it came up.
This is going to be like a 2-hour one.
It came up because and it's not Campus Crusade. What's it called?
YWAM?
No, it's
FCA?
like the, stop, you're making it worse.
Crew?
The one that's associated with the military. Oh my gosh, I don't remember. Anyway, we'll think about it and we'll let you know. We'll put it in the comments or something like that. Anyway, they reached out to me and they're like, hey, we want to touch.
Soldiers for Jesus.
No. And they were like, we want to touch base with the Coast Guard base. And I was like, I don't know anybody on the Coast Guard base in the chaplaincy. And they were like, well, we do. And so I went out to lunch with with the guys from this organization, and it's going to drive me nuts. Anyway, and I was there anyway. And so we went to Lucky Bones and we're eating lunch and they're trying to pitch things. And long story short, I said to Chap a couple months later, I was like, hey, we do this thing. Why don't you let us do it? And he was like, sure. And then I'm telling the pipeline about it. And Matt Pitts is like, I know Chaplain Mark because they did something together last year for Children's Fellowship or whatever that organization is called. And so I was like, well, Matt, you're in, right? And
Right
so
there.
Matt's like the point guy.
This is a natural relationship that already existed.
Right?
Awesome.
And it was, and the reason the natural relationship came is because I was building a relationship with Chap, and Scotty knew Chap. And so then it was like, you had all of this kind of relationship that was being built. And so, that opened up a door for us to get onto the base. And so they're abiding, they're building these relationships with the chaplain, with the Coast Guard base, with the cadets, XYZ, connecting conversations, opening up the word of God, modeling this to the cadets week after week after week. And I guess it was like about a month ago, they were saying, hey, we should do this, we should do that. And I think we were talking on the thread and I said, why don't you have the cadets do it? And so then I think it's like the second or third week they said that the cadets led.
Uh-huh.
And I said to them the other day, I said, wouldn't it be wild if this got to the point where Revolve never led it again?
Yeah.
Because I come in as a cadet, because essentially, even though they're there for 8 weeks, you really have 6 weeks with them.
Yeah, because they
it's
don't
like,
even
it takes
know
a
about
week
it
to
yet.
find out.
Yeah.
Right. And so I said, wouldn't it be amazing? It's like David is in boot. Week 3, he comes to the Bible study. he sees, Cadet Tommy leading it, and the Cadet Tommy leads week 4, 5, and 6 for Tommy. And then he's like, hey, David, I want you to lead the next 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And so it's like, you're basically having this constant flow.
It's awesome.
And you have like a Revolve person there who's there just in case there's no believers or just in case people are shy. But it's all about E, which is what you said,
Equip and
empower others to do the same. So you're in the word, you're connecting relationships, you're connecting the word, you're discovering the word, and then you're showing other people how to do it. So I really just wanted for me and you to have a conversation about this piece, about equipping and empowering others to do the same, and why equipping and empowering others to do what we do is so much more important than us doing it.
Yeah.
Even though it's not always, it's like the return on investment is greater, even though it diminishes your footprint. But that's a good thing. Jesus said, or John the Baptist said, I have to decrease so he can increase.
Yep.
And we live in a world where everybody's trying to increase their footprint.
Yeah. Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep. Get them Instagram followers.
Right. It's like, I want to be the best preacher. I want to be the best evangelist. It's like, well, maybe it's more strategic if you raise up 1,000 average evangelists.
So my first thought on this is it feels to me the way we have, created the DNA of Revolve being disciples, making disciples, equipping everyone to be able to engage where they live, work, learn, and play. That's the DNA of Revolve. That's what our goal is. One, it's biblical.
Sure.
Right? The elders are to equip the saints for the work of the ministry. It's biblical. Paul tells Timothy, what I'm telling you, tell others in the presence of others.
Yep.
Boom. 2 Timothy 2. It makes, as a man, this was my first thought, and I think this is kind of like looking at the Coast Guard part of it too. As a man, church can seem really kind of like boring.
Sure.
You're just going and listening to another guy lecture at you.
Right.
And this whole equipping people to be like, I can share the Bible with someone. It just feels it feels purposeful. And I don't know if it's because I'm more wired as a teacher, so that's exciting to me. But the amount of people that I have taught how to self-feed and then be able to share with one or two other people how to read the Bible, and the excitement and purpose that they feel in that is really cool. And I think it
100%.
just people want to be empowered. Like when I change the oil in my car by myself, rather than taking it and dropping it off, like you just feel better because you're like, I did that.
Sure.
Or I wired this electrical socket and didn't burn my house down. Like you feel empowered when you know how to do something and you can do it on your own. And I think, speaking as a man, I think men oftentimes feel like church is kind of boring and kind of lame, but it's because we're not equipping them and empowering them to live out the life that God has given them.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great observation, because we're essentially, in much of churchianity, we've taught people to be consumers instead of producers. And it's like, we are made to produce. We're made to work. We're made to be creating something and to be building something.
We want to go fishing and then fillet that fish and barbecue it and eat it with our friends.
Right.
It's so much cooler than just being like
me watching you fish.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%. And so I think the idea here is, equipping and empowering others really has two things. It's teaching them tools and then modeling to them. Right. And so, but if you fold those things together, which is what this group has done, that's where it really is best. It's like, so essentially they didn't sit down and they didn't say, we're going to teach you how to do a discovery Bible study. Instead, they just did a discovery Bible study. And then the people learn how to do it. They every week, one of the things that I have them do is they do like the 3 circles gospel presentation every week, because I said at least people will hear the gospel 6 times. You know what I mean? And now the cadets, they're like, the cadets doing the 3 circle. Yeah. Now it's this because they saw it modeled. It's not because they were like, I'm going to teach you how to do it. First, draw a circle.
Yeah.
Now you draw a heart. You know what I mean? And so you think about this idea of equipping and empowering others. There's like a positive and a negative to this. Positively, it means that you're already developing people. You're already developing leaders. Negatively, you're already developing leaders, and you might be doing so unintentionally. So, like, for example, if you're in, if I'm the kind of parent who just screams at my kids and they try to like ask a question, I just yell at them, I'm teaching them to do the same thing with their kids. You know what I mean? If you're leading a Bible study and all you do is stand there and lecture and you don't let anyone ever talk, people are going to think that's what a Bible study is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so it goes to show you that you need to have the healthy DNA, because everything you do is modeling to somebody else so that you're equipping and empowering them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Just a kind of a quick side note, talking about that, like modeling for your kids. It was funny. We were at something a couple days ago, and Corey was playing with some kids, and the mom was like, Corey's like really good with little kids. And I said, Melissa was telling me the story. And I'm like, yeah, because you're really
Melissa's
good.
really good with little kids.
I'm like, you have modeled that for Corey.
Right.
And it's like,
it's not like some innate thing.
Yeah. So it's like, I think too, we put so much pressure on like, oh, I got to teach everything perfectly. And it's like, no, if you're modeling it, whether it's parenting, whether it's
prayer,
reading the Bible, or prayer, it's like your kids or your spiritual kids, they're going to pick up on it, you know? So it's like,
everything's more caught than taught.
yeah.
Right. And so it's like, you want to learn to pray, you got to pray with people.
Yeah.
You're not going to learn to pray because you bought a book that teaches you how to pray. That's like me learning to play guitar by reading a book about how to play guitar.
Yeah.
It's like you learn guitar by being terrible at it for like the first 3 years. You know what I mean? Just doing power chords. You know what I mean?
Power chords.
Power chords for days, you know? But that's how you learn, you know?
Yep.
It's interesting. And so I think that like, so the principle here to draw from TRACEN, there's so many things we could talk about, but I think the idea of equipping and empowering others, we've equipped and empowered Hannah and Dina and Matt, and Jerry was going for a while. Meredith was going for a while. We've equipped them. They have now equipped these cadets. And you think about like my prayers that this just cascades. Can you imagine if we went to Glory and you realized that some of these cadets went out and started those studies at their new location, and like Revolve wound up having like 100 generations of these little pockets of Discovery Bible studies?
Yeah, I mean that's amazing. But
it's not even a far-fetched guess.
But even before that, like how cool would it be? Because we have a Coast Guard community. Like we know coasties that are in different parts of the country. Like how cool would it be like if John Midget, who's out in California, is like gets these 3 kids that are like, hey, we want to teach you DBS because we learned this, and for him to like, or like Caden in San Francisco to like meet some kid who'd be like, hey, I want to teach you DBS.
So funny story, side note, I get a text a couple weeks ago from somebody, and they're like, hey, do you know this family? And I was like, yeah. And then they wound up getting in conversation with their neighbors. And it turns out both families went to Revolve, but they never went at the same time.
Oh, cool. And they were both coasties.
Both coasties.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. And so it's just, and one of them was here right when we started, and one of them was here, you know, kind of like in the middle period during COVID. And so just really exciting.
Man, I know I don't want to like get the last word in. I know we're trying to land this plane, but isn't it cool how, I mean, for 14 years, we've been talking about how to get on the base.
Mm-hmm.
And and this is, I just feel like this is so true with ministry and relationship.
Let me time out quick. And it was always like, how do we get Bill on the base?
Yeah.
It's like, well, I need to join the auxiliary. And it was always like, this is soul crushing.
Yeah.
So go on.
Yeah. No. And I just think it's like, God is working relationships. He's preparing. It's like, right. Okay. You had the pipeline. Now you have these prepared people to go and do this. Matt had a relationship with Chap. It was like, every ministry we've done where we've tried to like beat the door down, you know, it's just like, and you think about like our relationship with like Johanna or Michael, like it's just natural. Like we just kind of showed up and God was like, all right, now these are partners for the last 10 years. It's just really, and I think what we need to, what my takeaway from this is there are people in your life that God is preparing for you to have Christ-centered conversations, have discovery Bible studies with. You don't need to go out and like force these relationships. That there are relationships that God is preparing that when you find them, if you're obedient and you're having, spiritual conversations and you're living out loud, that you're going to be blown away at like, oh, this was such a great thing where you're not, but you're like forcing.
That's the crazy thing. Is that
land that for me. Say what I'm trying to say.
No, but the point is that it's not rocket science.
Yeah.
Like, so I'll give you an example. I brought a team from the pipeline up to a seed week in New York City, and Chloe and Corlin were in the car with me. I'm in the Word. I'm in prayer. I'm actively trying to build relationships with Chloe and Corlin, even though they technically are young enough to be my kids. This kind of idea. And we're just talking. I'm not like, hey, on the way home, we're talking about this topic.
Yeah.
It's like, we're just talking. We're talking about marriage. They're newlyweds. We're talking about life. Stuff comes up. Because we're just building relationships and chatting, we're having conversation. Because I'm in the Word, I'm connecting my conversation to truth. So they're asking about like, what are our morning habits like? What's our morning quiet times like as a couple and this kind of stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
And then I'm like, I'm talking with them about that. And then we're looking, hey, well, the Bible says this. And we're like commenting on the Bible, having this conversation. They come to my house for the pipeline. They see me and Gina interacting. They see, us, they see, us praying together and these kinds of ideas. And then you realize that like, that has been more impactful for them than a class that I taught that they attended.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. It's like, bring David and Scotty to Indonesia on the first trip. This kind of idea. We're around Kevin. We're around this. We're around that. It's being modeled. It's being modeled. It's being modeled. And so don't think of discipleship as like, okay, I got to pick 2 people and go through a program. Like, yeah, there's program stuff. Like, it's good to teach people the big picture of the Bible. But the heartbeat of discipleship is what I've been saying to people is it's relationship plus truth over time. It's like, I have a relationship with David. We're both rooted in truth. And because we're both rooted in truth and we have a relationship, truth is going to be built into our relationship. And then over the longevity of time, iron sharpens iron. And so the point is, you already have people in your life. Who are they? Christians and non-Christians. Both of them need Jesus, right? And non-Christians, we need to have those conversations with the goal of having them read the Word with us. Christians, we have conversations with them to sharpen each other, spur each other on to love and good deeds. And it's equipping.
Bill, if you could be famous for one thing, what would it be for? And don't be like, oh, Billy Graham, I want to tell all the people.
I think, first of all, I don't want to be famous, but if I was going to be...
It was your question of the day.
But if I was going to be successful in something which precludes fame, it would be like writing the next like Chronicles of Narnia type series where like this impacts a generation, like that kind of idea.
What I just learned, this is what I just learned. Question of the day definitely has to be at the beginning. Because you end with question of the day. Because you were like, man, I got this like soul punching good word.
And then I'm like, juggling Jason.
Yeah. It just doesn't land as well.
Yeah.
So just forget the question of the day.
Do you think the 6'7" guy was like, I know what I want to be famous for? 6'7".
I don't even know. But this was a cool episode, I think. Having Hannah and Dina on to like they're modeling, I guess it's like modeling what we're teaching.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just really beautiful because you realize this is generational discipleship.
Yep.
And so guys, that's how we catalyze Cape May.
Yep.
Is generational discipleship. And so if you're like, I don't know where to begin, go to catalyzecapemay.com, go to discoveringdiscipleship.com, sign up for the ABCs, tackle David on Sunday and be like, please teach me the ABCs, and we'll figure it out.
You said that, and someone's actually going to tackle me.
You'll be fine.
This fame that has come along with being a podcaster.
Yeah,
people do what you say.
That's true. Well, give him a high five. Give him $1. All right.
Just if you tackle me, like take me out, like take me, like push me down the stairs,
like
so I go
kill
home,
you,
go home with Jesus.
That's murder, David.
Well, it's not gonna be my problem. I'll be in heaven.
Well,
and I won't have this backache anymore.
You heard it here first. David just, well, whatever that is. Hey, guys.
Later.
Have a great week.